Om Namo Narayanaya. Welcome back. We are on today chapter 10. Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. This is the final chapter of Canto 2, a very rich chapter. We're only going to read the first half of this today because it's kind of long. But yeah, let's dive right in. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 10 divisions of statements regarding the following: the creation of the universe, subcreation, planetary systems, protection by the Lord, the creative impetus, the exchange of manus, the science of God, returning home, back to Godhead, liberation, and the summum bonum. To isolate the transcendence of the summum bonum, the symptoms of the rest are described sometimes by Vedic inference, sometimes by direct explanation, and sometimes by summary explanations given by the great sages. The elementary creation of 16 items of matter, namely the 5 elements of fire, water, land, air, and sky, plus sound, form, taste, smell, touch, and the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and mind, is known as sarga, whereas subsequent resultant interaction of the modes of material nature is called visarga. The right situation for the living entities is to obey the laws of the Lord and thus be in perfect peace of mind under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The manus and their laws are meant to give right direction in life. The impetus for activity is the desire for fruitive work. The science of God realization describes the incarnations of Lord Vishnu and his different activities together with the activities of his great devotees. The merging of the living entity along with his conditional living tendency with the mystic lying down in the Mahavishnu is called the winding up of the cosmic manifestation. Liberation is the permanent situation of the form of the living entity after he gives up the changeable gross and subtle material bodies. The Supreme One, who is celebrated as the Supreme Being or the Supreme Soul, is the supreme source of the cosmic manifestation as well as its reservoir and winding up. Thus he is the supreme fountainhead, the absolute truth. The individual person possessing different instruments of senses is called the adhyatmic person, and the individual controlling deity of the senses is called adhidayvik. The embodiment seen on the eyeballs is called the adhibhatic person. All 3 of the above-mentioned stages of different living entities are interdependent. In absence of one, another is not understood. But the Supreme Being, who sees every one of them as the shelter of the shelter, is independent of all, and therefore he is the supreme shelter. After separating the different universes, the gigantic universal form of the Lord, Mahavishnu, which came out of the causal ocean, the place of appearance for the first Purusha Avatara, entered into each of the separate universes, desiring to lie on the created transcendental water. And the Supreme Person is not impersonal, and therefore is distinctively a Nara, or person. Therefore, the transcendental water created from the Supreme Nara is known as Nara. And because he lies down on that water, he is known as Narayana. One should definitely know that all material ingredients, activities, time, and modes, and the living entities who are meant to enjoy them all, exist by his mercy only, and as soon as he does not care for them, everything becomes non-existent. The Lord, while lying on his bed of mystic slumber, generated the seminal symbol, golden in hue, through external energy out of his desire to manifest varieties of living entities from himself alone. Just hear from me how the potency of his lordship divides one into 3, calling the controlling entities, the controlled entities, and the material bodies in the manner mentioned above. From the sky situated within the transcendental body of the manifesting Mahavishnu, sense energy, mental force, and bodily strength are all generated, as well as the sum total of the fountainhead of all the living total force. As the followers of a king follow their lord, similarly, when the total energy is in motion, all other living entities move, and when the total energy stops, all other living entities stop. Thus we shall pause here. There's a teacher I like, and he often says that the name of the Lord is Narayana, which is the name I describe here, and how the etymology of that name. And he says all the time, he goes, you can use Krishna, you can use Shiva, but if you want the Lord's name, the name, Narayana. Sometimes I don't know, there's so much in this book, and there's so many variations and creations, and this, it needs like a textbook to find out if that is true. But this particular teacher I trust, and so when he says it's Narayana, I think he's probably closer than not. It probably is the Lord that we need, the name that we should be turning to. I often chant Namo Narayanaya, actually. That is a chant that I took up. So this is a heavy heavy chapter with a lot in here. It's hard to read, and there's so many ideas going back and forth. It really needs to be like, you spreadsheet it out, and Venn diagrammed out. There's just so much in here. And there's so much in this canto, and I know there's so much coming. I think this chapter might be setting up where we're going next. I don't know. I don't look forward. Anyways, thoughts, comments, all that good stuff. And, I read everything and respond to everything, and anything you put up would be great. And we will pick up this chapter and finish Canto 2 in the next video. Thank you for watching. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.